Welcome to Get Savvy, the podcast for business owners who want to claim back their time through the power of delegation, streamlining, and productivity. I'm Teesha, and I'm here with my co-host Jo today to talk about making your team feel special. And to be honest, it's pretty easy. All you have to do is just give a shit.
You say that it's easy. I think it's simple. Perhaps not easy for everyone, because I think as business owners, we get so caught up in like all of the stresses of owning the business and dealing with all the problems that it can become easy to forget about making your team feel special and realizing how important your team members are.
Yeah.
And the more that we can keep them happy and feeling valued and liking coming to work, the better it is for us. So if we just spend some time on making our team members feel really special and important, then we actually reap rewards from that.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. We were discussing that this topic doesn't necessarily feel like it fits into delegation, streamlining, productivity. But actually, if you think about rewarding, keeping your team members happy, it does result in your business continuing to be productive or being more productive.
Yeah, because the more that you're dealing with the problems, the least productive everyone is who is involved, right?
Yeah. And this does tie back to our last episode as well, where we were discussing culture a bit more. So we're sort of just furthering that. And yeah, it is the little things. It is giving a shit. It is paying attention. That seems, again, easy. But when you're really busy, it's not as easy. Your mind is probably wandering all the time, but it's as simple as listening to what your team are saying, whether that's in a team meeting and they're talking about what they did on the weekend, or when they're actually having a direct conversation with you, sort of registering what they're saying about this key person that's in their life or what their interests are, and just being able to hold a conversation with them. And then the next time that you see them, you can bring up, what you discussed with them last time, because you know that that thing is important to them.
And something you do extremely well, Teesha, is have the team members feel so special because you've listened and you know about their personal life. And what that means is that when we have like birthdays or work anniversaries, you can tailor exactly what someone would feel like, oh, wow, Teesha really understands me. My boss really understands me. They have listened. They think I'm important.
Yeah.
They value me. They value the relationship that you have when they hear you tailoring the birthday message to them. Like, I think that is key and shows that you are really great at paying attention. So for those listening, do you actually know about your team members? Have you listened to them? Have you asked them questions? Which is something I struggle with. So asking them questions about their life, about what they did on the weekend, and drawing that stuff out and making it part of the general conversations that you have with them.
Yeah, I think the birthday posts are a really big thing. I mean, firstly, remembering their birthdays or their work anniversaries, that is also a whole separate thing on its own. Like remembering those key milestones are quite important to your team. And especially if they've forgotten their own work anniversary, it's quite nice to be like, hey, I want to recognize you because you've been on the team for this long.
And the way that we keep track of that too is a really great point. As soon as they start, we have a templated task list to onboard them. And one of the steps is to put the birthday as a reoccurring appointment in whoever's calendar it needs to be in. And again, with the work anniversary, putting that work anniversary in so that you can have an automatic pop-up come up so you know when the birthdays and anniversaries are.
Yeah. Yeah, like you say, it's all those posts that I do. So what I do is I make a little graphic to share in our internal chat tool, and then I do like a bunch of words with it. And Words is my love language as well, so that is probably part of it. But a lot of the time, sort of throughout the year or whenever I'm chatting with each of the team, I will screenshot just funny things that they've said to me, and I keep a little folder of all of those things for those team members. Or if there happens to be funny photos that I've managed to acquire of them, I save all of those up, and then, yeah, for those anniversaries and birthday posts, then I share those, and yeah, we'll usually try and mention something, that they're interested in, or yeah, just personal to them and actually making it specific, because if you're just chucking out a generic happy birthday and it's the exact same for every single team member, then they kind of just say, oh yeah, whatever, like it's just another
Yeah,
thing.
it devalues it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just making it, yeah, a little bit special, a little bit personal, and it doesn't have to be heaps, just something that is unique to them.
Yeah, they know that you've made the effort, and that is like they feel extremely valued. I know that that is one of the key reasons why the team member feel valued is because you've made an effort. You've actually purposefully found photos and screenshotted things
Mhm.
and held them in a folder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And again, we're talking about recognition. We did mention this in the last episode. If you haven't listened to that, go listen to that, because we cover quite a few things on culture and supporting your team members. But we also discussed what we call it a Savvy Stars channel, which is our internal chat tool again, where we are posting screenshots from clients giving good feedback about our team members, or just thanking team members in there for support. But yeah, recognition is something that goes a long way. Just a little note of appreciation. And again, similar to the birthday post, it being unique, because if you're just saying, thanks, blah, blah, you did a great job every time, again, it's just so generic, no one's going to care, and they're not going to feel
Mhm.
special either.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think the important thing here is that, like, giving them the reason why are they special? Why
Mm.
was it special? What they did, what they said, how they behaved, what the action was.
Yeah.
That's the important part. Why? Why are they special?
Yeah. Similar, well, yeah, I guess tying in with the title of this episode, why should they give a shit? Why is
Mm.
this post different? Give them the why, dig into it a little bit more. And again, it doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be 3 paragraphs of why that person is amazing, but just a couple of sentences of
Yep.
something unique to them.
Mhm.
What have they done?
Yep.
Our next one is offer development and actually empower your team to do more of either what they love or what they're really good at.
Mhm.
So many businesses want to hold you back in this like role that you're already in.
Mhm. For ease, right? For ease of them
Yeah.
so they don't have to find someone else to do that. Yeah. They need team members need a pathway. They need
Mm.
to be able to see what's next for them. They need to see a development pathway. They need to be training. They need to be learning. They need to not just feel like they are stuck here in this role and that's it for them.
Mhm. Yes. And so many people go into jobs being told that they're going to be allowed to grow in the company, and then they actually find out that they can't. And
Mm.
that is quite a big reason I'd say a lot of people start looking elsewhere, because they just get stuck and they can't progress. So if
Mhm.
you're actually allowing that, find out, yeah, the type of work that they enjoy doing, let them do more of it even. It doesn't necessarily have to be that they upskill in it, just let them do more. If
Mhm.
you can have them upskill, then that's going to benefit your business as well.
Mhm. Absolutely, it will.
So, yeah, another simple, we say simple, easy, simple.
Simple, not necessarily easy, but simple. Yeah, yeah.
Mm. Yeah, just, yeah, empower them. This next one is one of my personal faves. So, understand how they like to communicate and receive information. And at Savvy, we do a lot around the personality styles. We've mentioned this before. So, we do have, I guess, more of a deeper understanding of each of our team members, and specifically, we sort of, yeah, delve quite deep into all of that
Mm.
and know exactly what sort of each of them needs. But even before I did the training on this, my key thing to connect with people was that I just mirrored them. You match
Mhm.
the energy, you just mirror exactly what they're giving to you, and 9 times out of 10, they will love it, and they'll become your best friend, quite honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so if someone is high energy, having a lot of fun banter, mirroring them back to them, they'll be like, "Ah, you're
Yeah,
my person.
yeah,
You're like I'm getting energized from this conversation because they're getting back what they are giving."
yeah.
And equally, if someone is more formal or straight to the
Mhm.
point or likes the detail, then mirroring back the detail to them or mirroring back this direct answer because they ask you directly.
Yeah,
That can make them feel like, oh, this is great. I'm enjoying this conversation and I'm feeling great because this person is similar to me. And we're always on the lookout for similarities, aren't
yes.
we? What do we have in common?
Yeah,
Or how is this person the same as me? And naturally, we like things that are the same
yeah.
as us. Yeah.
Yeah,
Human
I
nature.
encourage the team to do this even with their clients,
Mm,
but yeah, just doing it with your team, and it is something. It may not be as easy as some of the others. You do also have to do it quite consciously, I guess.
mm,
Otherwise, you're always going to default to your own style of communicating. And
mm.
you might not even realize that there are different styles of communicating.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and it's not like mirroring them exactly, like
yeah,
everything is the
no,
same because there that will become if it's not your natural style, it will become very obvious that you are copying them.
hmm
So it's more like the pace or the level of energy or
hmm
whether it's fun or not, or whether it's direct or detailed. Those kind of things are the things that you're mirroring.
hmm Yeah, and even, those people that are really detailed and they might be telling you a really detailed story, it's as simple as sort of just listening to it rather than trying to hurry them along. Actually
Mm.
give them the time that they need to communicate to you. Or, as simple as certain team members that maybe want to tell you about their weekend. When you go up and you need to ask them something, actually connect with them first, ask them how their weekend was, how they're feeling, what is coming up next weekend for them, and just connect
Mm.
a little bit before you jump straight into the business chat.
Something I have had to learn.
Yes. But it does
Mm.
become more natural the more you do
Yeah.
it, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Yes. You can train yourself to
Mm,
be conscious of those things, but it does take some conscious awareness. Absolutely. You can't
mm,
just be living or acting and behaving in your
mhm.
defaultness. It takes some conscious awareness.
Yeah. And actually, once you sort of build up that, I guess, respect or rapport with that person or each person in your team, it will either, yeah, become more natural, become easy to you, or they get to a point where they mutually respect you anyway and they don't need it as much from you, and they could
Mm.
handle you going up to them and asking them business questions straight away.
And sometimes if I've forgotten, then I'll make a joke of it. And
Yeah.
so because we understand each other's personality styles, they know my personality style,
Mm,
the team members, and I know theirs, then we can make a joke about, if you have done something that is your default that isn't like very consciously aware,
mm,
which just softens it and you can relate to that person, they can relate to you and understand each other.
yeah. Yeah. Yes. Mirror them. If they're asking you questions, ask them questions back. If they're telling you
Mm.
about their weekend, connect with them, tell them some fluffy info about yourselves. If they don't care, they just want to get straight to business, then do the exact same back to them.
Yeah.
Like you say, it's a lot of the pace rather than if you're standing there copying all of their hand movements, that is not what I mean at all. That's gonna get real awkward real fast.
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah.
all right. Our next one, again, is kind of similar. It's just checking in with your team members and knowing that not every single conversation needs to have an ulterior motive or an agenda. You don't
Mm,
have to only talk to your team members when you need something from them. Again, remembering that they're humans, have a
mhm.
conversation with them.
Yeah, I mean, this is a super simple one. Like, when was the last time you just called a team member and was just like, "Hey, how you doing?"
Mm.
This is something that I need to take on board more and check in with the team,
And
without an agenda.
if you don't do it enough, it actually becomes weird because when you do finally do it, they're like, what do they want? Why are they talking to me?"
Yeah.
And so
Mm,
even like we've got 30 people on the team. So I'm not talking to all 30 of them every single day. But if I sort of just have this thought that I'm like, I haven't spoken to that person in a while, I'll just message them and be like, "Hey, how's it going?" Or, "Hey, I've
mm,
been hearing really amazing feedback about you lately. Like everyone that works with you says that you're just absolutely amazing at XYZ." Just
mhm,
check in with them. And I don't need anything back. And I'm not just talking to them because I need them to answer a question.
mm. Yeah, it's a great point.
Mm. And then lastly, but not least important, be honest. It's very simple, but
Mhm,
I'm sure you listening to this would want honesty yourself. So why wouldn't you want to give your team that?
mm,
It's a very, very simple way to make them feel, yeah, special, respected, I guess.
mhm. Important.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just,
like you trust them.
yeah. You gave a great example of it before, Joe, where, if your team member asks you how something's going and you just lie to them and you're like, "Oh, it's fine." They're eventually going to find out it's not fine.
Mm. And what's the purpose of that? Like, it's only to, like, protect your awkwardness or having
Mm,
a courageous conversation. But, like, the, long-term detriment to the
mm,
business of, like, not being honest with your team members and just dealing with things as they come up, and honestly saying, and there's a way to say things that isn't you just, like, being an asshole. You can say things in a nice way and just be like, "Oh, actually, yeah, this hasn't gone as well. Like,
mm,
how do you feel like it's gone? Um, I wonder if there's some things that we could do differently. Could I support you in a different way? Like, is there something that came up for you, or is there something going on for you at the moment?
mhm,
Really want to, like, turn things around." And those that kind of language is really like bringing them along as your
mm,
equal and, like, together working on something rather than, like, just telling them you've done something wrong
mm.
and being angry about that.
And even if it's not something that they're directly involved with, if they're asking about it, potentially you may not be able to tell them the full story, but you can still be
Mm,
honest with them about it and give them some info. And you can even be as honest and say, "I can't actually tell you everything that's happening with this situation, but
yeah.
here's a little bit of info." And
Yeah.
being honest with them like that also helps them get on side, get behind you, want to support you and the business as well on what you
Mhm.
actually need to turn the situation around or keep doing what they're doing, whatever it is.
Mm. Like, that's why we're transparent. We're transparent with profitability. We're transparent with
Mm,
um, who the clients are, how much money they bring in, what our hourly rates are, what our packages are. Like,
mhm,
all of the finances is probably one of the areas where business owners feel least
mm,
like they want to be transparent. But if you are transparent, then, like, the team know, oh, right, we didn't make a profit this month. Okay, I, like, understand that's happened. Like, okay, I can see that the leadership team, that's why they're asking me to do this. That's why they're implementing this.
yep,
That's why this is going to change.
mhm,
Rather than just being like, oh, all these changes are coming, like, oh, bloody management. Like, they kind of builds that kind of culture
mm,
where it's like, them and us, and I
Yeah.
can't stand that.
Yeah.
So anytime that I feel like anyone is thinking like that, I'm just like, "Oh, what are we not sharing?
Mm.
How do we need to be more transparent?"
Yeah.
So that everyone can come on the journey and everyone knows what's going on. Because like it's great working for a company where you understand and know what's going on.
Yeah.
It's awful to work for a company where you're like, oh, they just never share anything or never tell us. Like, is the company doing well? Is it not doing well?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
Yeah. Then you have all of these people just blindly following and they don't understand why.
Mm,
And yeah, it just, yeah, giving them some of that background information will really go a long way so that, they might not like it, but at least you're
mm,
being honest with them. At least they understand what the goal is or, why this needs to
why?
happen. And
Mm,
most of the time, it's probably going to be something along the lines of we need to be doing this well so that the business is more profitable. That ends up as a positive for that team member at the end of the day, probably. So yeah, just
yeah.
give them the bigger picture. But yeah, like I say, it doesn't always have to be every single detail behind that. Um, but yeah, just be honest.
Hmm. Yep. Just be honest. And overall, like, give a shit about your team members.
Mhm.
Give them the time, the focus, the energy that you have so that they can do a great job because happy team members create a profitable and great business and a great culture where you reduce your turnover of team members and
Mhm.
just everyone's happier, and who doesn't want to come to work and be happy? We
Yeah.
spend a lot of time at work, so yeah.
Yes. So thank you for listening to episode 7 of Get Savvy. Just give a shit. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the Get Savvy podcast.